Hey, what's up, y'all? Dr. Malcolm D. Alexander here, about to go live with well, another show. But normally, I know I'm on my Treadmill Wealth Coach deal, and I'm going to do it as a Treadmill Wealth Coach. But it's another show to catch up with the show from yesterday, Dads Deserve Justice. So we're going to do that. But let me make sure I'm on all the different platforms and everything like we're supposed to be here. Let's see. We're going to go live. Make sure Instagram seems to be doing pretty good lately. Just going live as they go live. I would like to check with a partner, but that's not going to happen today to see where we're at. But that seemed to work right there. Okay. Okay. I want to make sure we're here on the one we need to be on. Okay. Maybe I don't get a notification on it. I gotta check that. Okay, good. So, guys, we are live. As we do with winners all around. Thanks to them, we go on all different platforms multiple times. I mean, and just simultaneously on all different platforms. So you got to give us a second when we got to do our housekeeping and things of that nature as we get on to make sure that we're on all the different platforms. I'm checking out the Facebooks. I'm checking out the YouTubes. I'm making sure that we're everywhere that we need to be. So that's what I'm doing at the very moment. Okay. Oh, that one's not going to work out. I forgot about that. Okay, we'll check this one though. On the Facebook's blocked us a little bit because we talked about our membership that didn't take money from you. But anyway, that's how people go sometimes. Uh, Log in this one. I don't remember what the password was. All these passwords, stuff be changing, man. What's up with that? Okay. It looks like we're good and live streaming on the Facebooks where we need to be. IG looks like where it needs to be. What do we got to do? Oh yeah, so we got to go on here and we got to send it to Threads. Then we'll get up on YouTube. Oh, I got to check on YouTube. Okay, looks like we're live on YouTube on that YouTube, and we'll check the other YouTube. We're live on the other YouTube. So now all we got to do is go to Threads, and then we'll go to TikTok, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. And today, guys, we're going to talk about sometimes you need a minute, even if it's painful, hurtful, or often even if it's wrong. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So this is the Treadmill Wealth Coach. I always give you some tips and all of that type of good stuff. And most of the time, a lot of times, it has to do with personal development and wealth. But sometimes, as this is a segment that has to do with Dads Deserve Justice, and please check it out, dadsdeservejustice.org. Alienating parents, a lot of times as fathers, we get into all those different things, working to change the laws, working to raise money to actually help fathers and even mothers who don't weaponize the system, and help people, grandparents, uncles that get caught up in all that. So this is going to be a combination of the Treadmill Wealth Coach coming to you with Dads Deserve Justice. I hope you get that. Okay, so here we go. Let me just go on here and I'll check and make sure. Oh, I got to remember. I remembered yesterday and it worked out pretty good. You go to YouTube, share from there, so you can get more views on there. Although that's not necessarily our big goal is to help people with our membership. But if you grow in the YouTube space and everything else at the same time, it is a plus. It's a winner as well. So let me go here, share this, copy the link. I think I can actually share the threads now. So the threads is coming up. I see it. Okay. I don't see it there. Okay. Well, I got it. I just go on the phone, go to the page. And I'm not even sure how it flows on there anyway. Um, but I guess it's there. I haven't really figured out threads yet. But we're going live. Okay. So let me go back. I got this. I'm gonna go back and I got TikTok ready to okay, Baltimore. TikTok ready to go. I wanted to take my girl there. I don't know if that's what happened anymore, but let's see. New joint opening up. Okay, so TikTok about to go live. All right. Well, I got to put the title in here. Sometimes you need a minute, even if it's painful, hurtful, or even wrong. Oh, I forgot about TikTok. Gotta be short. Okay. Sometimes you need a minute. And the world wants short these days. That's a whole different training. I've done it a bunch of times. I go through a bunch of going stuff, my personal life. Short, short, short. Just anyway. Okay, good. So TikTok's ready to go. Let me make my way out to the joint. That was it. That was it. That was it. That was it. That was it live. Okay. Then we go make my way out to the treadmill, other spot. And we're going to go and get this thing rocking and rolling. So do me a favor, like, share, post, get it out there. Oh, I forgot to hit TikTok. Okay, so here we go. TikTok is counting down. 3, 2, 1. All right, all right, all right. What's going on TikTok? It's been a minute. It's Dr. Malcolm D. Alexander, the Treadmill Wealth Coach, coming to you with the show of Dads Deserve Justice, as well as the Treadmill Wealth Coach going on and getting you some tidbits and things of that nature. So let me speed up this so you know here we are live on Treadmill. That's what we do here. Okay. So you guys know I'm really, really on it. Trying to keep healthy, stay healthy, get healthy, all that type of good stuff. Thank you to all of those who stuck through me and worked with me as I went through some health challenges. But definitely appreciate the X39 patch. I still got it on. No, I took it off. Got to put it back on today. X39 patch that helped me probably be here today. And then on top of that, you have the a fix. I've lost about 15 pounds, ready to rock and roll. Cotton, what's going on? What's happening with you there? Thank you guys for jumping on TikTok. Please like, share, and post this thing and put it all around. Today, it is Dr. Malcolm D. Alexander, the Treadmill Wealth Coach, and we are rocking and rolling. But I am doing the show of Dads Deserve Justice that comes out every Friday on the channel. On yesterday, a lot was going on. I wasn't able to get that show in as we needed to, but don't worry, we still give you the tidbit. So we're going to combine the Treadmill Wealth Coach and the Dads Deserve Justice show with the concept of sometimes, ooh, I forgot the title. Sometimes you need a minute, even if it's painful, hurts, or sometimes it's even wrong. That's right, guys. We're going to talk about that. So, and you guys know I ended up here. Hey, what's going on, Claire? Ended up here on the treadmill because you guys can help me pass the time. I can get my workout in like I'm supposed to, and everybody wins. And then I got people calling me up saying, I don't want to do the workout. Can I plug myself into you so I don't have to do a workout? That's funny as the bit. Hello, what's up, Cher? What's going on, GKN? That's right, guys. So don't forget our shows. Watch the screen at the top. TikTok, you can't see the screen, so let me just let you know and give you a little breakdown before we get into all these things as our topic, which is if you're a artist or a business owner, you want to go to Winners All Around on YouTube. You can also go to the site, the.com, and you can register there and you can check out all the different shows that we have, everything that's going on. Freestyle Fridays on Friday with Tress. You know, I do the Dads Deserve Justice show on Friday as well. But Freestyle Friday, so you know, is on Thursday. It starts midnight on Thursday. And then we got Takeover Tuesday with Haskell. We got other shows that are coming. We have Chop It Up that's coming. We have a whole bunch of different stuff. There's about 9 different shows running right now. You can see all of them, the replays, the Dads Deserve Justice show, the Freestyle Friday show, all those different things happening on the channel, right? And if you are an artist or you want a podcast or you want to do any of those things, hit us up. We can help you. We can broadcast it. But Winners All Around is different, guys. We don't look at just the views on one place. We actually put this thing out on multiple different platforms and simultaneously. For example, right now we're on multiple Facebook, multiple YouTubes, TikTok. We're on Instagram, multiple Instagrams. We're on Threads. We're on WhatsApp. All that's going on. We're on multiple YouTubes. Guys, we're all over the place right now. And we want to put you in that position. We want to put you in that place. If that kind of makes sense. TikTok is rocking and rolling always. Appreciate you guys. Love, share, like, post, gift, all the other type of good stuff. So let's get into our topic. Guys, just so you know, my Dun& Bradstreet, I've had success in the music entertainment industry. Also been a multiple 7-figure earner in the direct sales space. Somebody said the other day, they don't say the MLM or the network marketing space, because the younger generation doesn't even really know what that is. But the bottom line is, guys, we've retired over 100 people from their jobs. We've helped people make 7 figures, 6 figures, help people make some extra money, extra moolah, and you got some great programs going on right now. If you are in the Maryland area, I got a gift for you. Okay, we're gonna save you on your utilities, and the government already paid for you. You just didn't know about it, right? Very simple. So if you're in Maryland, DC, Virginia, we can hook you up. DM me, contact us, do what you gotta do. Go to Winners All Around. You can also email us, winners, WAA Networks, WAA Networks at gmail.com, and we will hook you up. Even if you already got a hookup, we can give you a hookup on top of the hookup. And if you want to lose some weight, you want to stay healthy, we got you covered. Guys, it is time to rock and roll with that. If you want to, like I said, do a podcast, be on a podcast, be interviewed. Our members get interviewed every single month. That's part of it. And so check out the membership, the join page on winnersallaround.com. Now, with that being said, guys, let's get into our topic. And one of the things about being a coach and a mentor and dealing with life is that I like to get on the treadmill. I like to show you I'm a real person. I ain't put up makeup on all that type of stuff because I want you to understand that people are people. People go through things, and I'm a person just like you are. And I've had some success. The homes, the cars, the travel, all that type of stuff. My greatest accomplishment is being a stay-at-home dad of 3 boys. Well, actually 4 boys. My stepson. And when I was married, I didn't. My ex-wife now, she didn't work. And that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying we had a different type of lifestyle. You too can have that, right? And so, guys, I want to talk about, though, because as I've gone through a bunch of stuff and I've had to grow. I was talking to my mother yesterday about some situations, and she said, you may have changed drastically. You may have grown. You may have gotten better. But the bottom line is the people who just met you now, they don't have a comparison. So they may think one way, right? And you're thinking a different way because they don't know. I had to think about that, right? And so the bottom line is, guys, yes, sometimes people need a minute to reflect. People need a minute to calm down and relax. And often we may not want to give them a minute because it's painful. It may be hurtful. Sometimes it's even wrong at the wrong time that they do that. But everybody's different. Everybody goes through different things, and everybody goes through things differently. I love to give you an example of the game. Like, hey, what's up, Trayvon? What's up, baby? What's up, Soccer Man? What's up, Alan? Right? I love you on TikTok. Rocking and rolling. What's up, Wheezy? Run. Look, guys, I like to give the example of the game. Remember the game where they give you a sentence, you sit in a circle, or whatever you do, a bunch of people, and you try to pass the sentence around? But every time it gets to the end, it's never the same. Why is that? Because we hear things different. Our perceptions are different. We're just different people, right? We have our similar characteristics, but we're different people. And so therefore, when you're dealing with people, when you're dealing with businesses, everybody's a little bit different. I know that the world is shifting as far as how people communicate and talk. It drives me crazy. I send somebody detailed information, 2 or 3 paragraphs, and the response is 1 sentence, 2 sentences. That's impossible to give clarity on all the information that I regurgitated with 1 or 2 sentences. But people take it as that's okay. Now, it is okay. But the problem is that you will not be clear. You will not go through and get everything the way you need to get it. You won't have everything straight, right? You're going to have consequences. You're going to have issues that come up. You're going to have misunderstandings and things of that nature that you could have avoided, right? And I've realized also that because the world's shifting that way and people are used to responding that way, that's where their mentality is going. So I've noticed that I tell people things and give them all the details, but they don't ever hear all the details because maybe it's too much information, right? And so then all of a sudden, even if it's not too much information, it was too much information in the way they deal with information. So then down the road, they can't connect the information you gave them to a circumstance that they need to connect it to. But the world is shifting, and we got to understand that. we got to have empathy and give people a break for some of those things. So guys, here as we do our thing, sometimes I got to check different stuff, make sure stuff is working right, you know. And then I had a little brain fog and some stuff going on sometimes. Didn't get a lot of sleep. So anyway, I got off onto the right subject, right? Sometimes, guys, you just got to give people a minute. And I know it's hard, and it's painful, and it hurts. Well, but it goes back to the fact that people take things different. People do things different. People hear things different. And so, sometimes a minute, maybe an hour. It may be a day. It may be a week. It may be a year. Sometimes it's way too long. Sometimes people miss out on blessing and opportunity and things because time, as I talked about in one of our last shows, time will never wait. And that's why one of the principles of success is being able to fix things, being able to get through stuff, being able to still participate, to still operate, understanding if you don't, there's going to be a consequence. I have a situation going on right now that my girl was mad at me because I didn't, I kept going on with things I needed to go on with while we were having a problem. Well, if I didn't, you have consequences. It didn't mean that I didn't care. It didn't mean that it wasn't important to me. It meant that I understood that if the things that were in place and the things that were going on and in the moment, see, I'm giving you success tips in the middle of this, right? Because Dads Deserve Justice is about all around kids and fathers, but this affects our families. This affects how we communicate with our kids, our exes, our family. So it's all intertwined. And so if you ignore what's going on at the moment, then there will be a consequence down the road. And so one of the things about success, because I'm Treadmill Wealth Coach, right, is successful people, I say it all the time, they get it done anyway. Successful people keep moving. As a matter of fact, one of the principles of success is watching people. They stand up straight, what kind of confidence they carry themselves, and here it is, this speed. One of the things about success is you can often see successful people, they move quickly. They move quickly in verbal and in physical. Guys, they move quickly. And so they have learned to fix things. They have learned, they say they are problem solvers because problems never go away. Stuff never happens, but they solve the problem. And the faster you can solve the problem, or the faster you can get on the problem, the better off that you'll be down the road. And I teach my kids, if you make a mistake, if you got to solve something, if you do something wrong, do it fast. You'll beat half the world by doing it fast. And here's the thing, it's okay to mess up. And if you mess up, we just fix the problem. And that's the other part, guys. That's the other part when you start talking about taking a minute and understanding that some people get over things faster, get through things faster. They deal with things differently. And so therefore, your minute may not be their minute. And you got to learn to understand that. And I know it's hard. I know it can be painful. And I know some circumstances, it's even wrong that they did it. Or you're going to have consequences because they did it. Or you did it, whoever, right? But one of the principles of success is speed. And can you solve problems? They say that the more faster and the better you can solve problems, the more success you can have. Because you will never escape problems. You will never escape stuff. But it's not the stuff, it's how you deal with the stuff. And it doesn't mean you always deal with it right, because we're always growing, right? Talked about that last week. Stay green and growing, as some of my mentors used to say. Look, guys, nobody's perfect. You know, one of the things I used to talk about with my ex-wife a lot was the fact that the things that hurt and bother her may not be the things that hurt and bother me. In my situation now, the things that hurt and bother her, they don't hurt and bother me the same way. But if we're looking at things through our prism only, through our perspective only, right, then we're in some way, shape, or form being manipulative, we're being selfish, um, we're being controlling, because we're not on the planet alone. We're not here by ourselves, right? And so if that's the only way you're dealing with something, and I had that situation happen to me last 2 days, and my mom said it to me, look, you changed, but they don't know how you changed because they don't know who you were before. So breathe and understand that. Okay, Ma, you're right. right? Right? But my mom was very cutthroat on a lot of things, but she had some things to say about the other person. Not good, right? And I explained it, but she had her thoughts and her philosophies, and I do agree with a lot of them. But I understand circumstances can play a part, right? Because we all take the situations differently, you know? And so you just got to take a breath. Don't quit. Keep it moving. Because one thing can't stop everything, guys. And in success, you learn how to keep it moving, even though you may be hurting, even though you may be in pain, even though it may feel like the end of the world. You still get up every day, or you still do what you got to do, because otherwise you have a bigger issue that you created down the road, right? And a lot of things that get in the way of us achieving, a lot of things that get in the way of our relationships, at the end of the day, they don't matter. They weren't that big a deal, right? We made too much out of it because of our perception or what we thought. And that's where communication comes in, but the world communicates less. And so therefore, we're creating more issues and more drama and more things that we don't intend to, but we are. Look, guys, sometimes it sounds contradictory because you say, move quick, but you need a minute. That's because nothing's perfect. Nothing's always what it is. And, I have conversations a lot of times, especially people calling your phone trying to sell you things, or people subscriptions and things you sign up with. And I'm like, it amazes me how people think that everything is black and white. Everything's not black and white. We operate in the world in gray. I was talking to some friends of mine, and I was talking about some things, and I thought about some stuff. Because when someone tells you a story, when someone tells you what they're going through or what they went through, there's always another side to the story. So if someone's telling you a story about themselves and you're listening to the story feeling like that wasn't too cool, from their perspective, from the story they're telling you, then that means that the other side's even worse. And that can tell you a lot about where somebody is. That can tell you a lot about their character, but only if you're listening, only if you're paying attention. And I'm not saying don't give them a minute. I'm not saying write them off and blow them off, because remember, we take things differently. We hear things differently. We respond to things differently. And when you look at all this, it looks like a jumble. It looks like a mess. It looks like there's no right and wrong. It looks like there's problems and there's trouble. And here's what I'm going to say. There is. That's why one of the principles of winning is you still keep winning. You still keep going. You learn how to be the problem solver because you have figured out that the problems will never not be there. And there's always another side, another perspective. Doesn't mean either side is right or wrong, but there's always another side. Now, in black and white, it's black or it's white. There's two sides. But in the reality of it is, there's millions of sides. There's millions of perspectives because we really operate in the gray. I should do a book on that. right? And even though we operate in the gray, often we deal with things in the black and white. Well, you shouldn't have done that because you should have done this. Well, wait a minute. Suppose this happened or that happened, or I heard it this way, or I got it from that person, or I didn't get all the information, right? Those things happen all the time, right? And in my line of work and the things that I've been involved in, the things that I do and dealing with people, I've dealt with hundreds and thousands and actually millions of individuals. And I have a different perspective on the psyche of the human being. I'm not saying I'm a psychiatrist. I got 72 doctorates in it. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's like if you only drive your car once a month, right? You're less likely to get a speeding ticket. You're less likely to get an accident because numbers don't lie. Percentages don't lie. If you drive your car every day, you have more of a chance, right? If you drive lots of long trips, lots of work, you drive for work, right? You have more of a chance, right? Didn't change the fact that you were the same driver, right? That doesn't matter. The circumstances shift. The circumstances change because of the different elements that are applied to it, right? And so, guys, be careful. Don't throw away your blessings. Try not to hurt people more than is necessary because sometimes you can't come back from a hurt that wasn't even a hurt. Sometimes you can embed something into somebody that they can't get over when you didn't mean to. And that's another reason why often we got to take a minute, right? Because, or let someone take a minute, because you don't want to go somewhere that's hard to come back from when it wasn't necessary. And I tell you personally, I worked on that alone. People come to me, people do things to me in relationships. I learned to take a breath. I learned to suck it up. I'm an analytical person. So I try to look at it, analyze it, go through it, all that other type of stuff. But as I began to work in the world in between man and woman in relationships like that, and I already knew that we're different and we take things different, right? So trying to work hard from their side, and it's a difficult thing. It can hurt you when you're trying to work through it. It can be painful when you're trying to work through it. You can get madder and madder and madder because you can know it's wrong, right? Or you can know somebody got something wrong. Or you can know that somebody's going to create a consequence that wasn't necessary at the end of the day. That's going to hurt everybody involved. But you can't fix and change everything. And that's why sometimes, even if you're on the receiving end, you may need to give somebody a minute, and you may also need to take a minute. And minute is relative, right? Guys, I just pray that we don't go down this path in the world of lack of communication, the belief and the fakeism of social media too quickly, because we'll create consequences and things that we can't recover from. You know, right now, I don't get into politics often, but right now there's so much talk about, the Trump administration alleviating things for the black man, for the black people or minorities, getting rid of and changing stuff. And you have your opinion, and that may be absolutely true. But I heard one of the brothers from the nation, and I heard Farrakhan talking about it, and I had said that to somebody before, not just in reference to Trump. I'm not saying that. This isn't a politics thing. But that if someone is going to stab me in the back, if someone is going to do something bad to me and harmful to me, then I would rather know up front. I would rather know and judge the character, right, in the beginning, And if I can see those things coming, what do? You can fix it. You can respond to it. It's how you respond, you know. But when people sneak things up on you, that's why I've tried to become way more transparent and my relationships but the person has to take it in because I always wanted a relationship where I didn't have to hide anything, right? And sometimes you feel like you've got to, but man, that takes another effort. That's another job, right? And so, but if somebody didn't hear the information before, didn't get it correctly, didn't process it the way you tried to project it, then something may take place and it's like they turned on you, right? But that was maybe not their intent. And that's why it's important to be able to resort back to the character, to be able to resort back to who people are, who somebody is in business. That's the purpose of a contract, which really started off in the business world, I guess. The contract that said, we're all in the right place and in the right mind. So let's put some things in place so when the day comes that we're not in the right place, we're not in the right mind, that we can still maneuver through the problem that's inevitable to come up. The same thing in relationships. The only difference in relationships is that there's no contract until you're married, right? And then when you're married, it's not even a contract. It's just you got a contract that you said I do. That's about it. Now, there's another contract that's often used called the prenuptial agreement. People have a lot of opinions about that until somebody tries to steal your life and steal all your stuff, right? But the prenup isn't a bad thing if you look at it from the way of what it's supposed to do. Same thing it's supposed to do in business. It's supposed to say that while we're happy, we're in love, we're in a good place, we can think right and rational, that we put some things in paper so that the day comes that we're hurt, something happens, disrespect, whatever, that at that point in time, we have something to refer back to that can help us maneuver through our issue with the right frame of mind, right? That's what it's for. Not that it's supposed to be a bad thing, you know? It's just supposed to help you get through the rough times. Now, if you're dating somebody, generally don't do a prenup, right? And it wouldn't be very easy to enforce it. You'd have to take it to civil court and act like it was a contract, and it ain't that deep. I just met you and want to go out to dinner. Or we start to see each other a lot, right? But even there, things can happen. And how do you deal with it? Well, sometimes you got to give people time. Sometimes you need to take some time. Sometimes people communicate and have different ways of doing things and different skill sets. And speaking of skill sets, one thing my mother said to me the other day, and I thought back to on an older relationship. And I remember having an issue because I had certain skill sets that helped our enterprise flourish. And they had certain skill sets that helped our enterprise flourish. And putting those two skill sets together was incredible and was awesome. But from their past experiences and things they've gone through and whatever, because remember, they see things differently, I often could tell, and probably ultimately was its demise, I could often see that they were concerned that they didn't have my skill set and that they didn't think they were holding up their weight. And like they thought that that was a problem for me, but they made the problem for me because it wasn't a problem for me, because I understood that together we were awesome. And I wanted them to get that, but they never got it. I think they did get it about 25, 30 years later, but that's too late. So that's one of those examples of you took too much time and you created a consequence that wasn't necessary. Come on, pick it up there. And so, guys, look, be careful with time, though, because time itself can create pain. Time itself can create hurt. Time itself can create situations you can't get through because you took too much time. Why did the sound go off? Okay. I hope the sound was on there with you guys earlier. Camera went off, the sound went off. Somebody called. That's not good. But anyway, guys, I was winding it down. Time is a great thing, but time can also be a hindrance and a bad thing. So do the best that you can. Pray about it. And let's remember the other most important part, that we don't know exactly how much time we have. So don't put yourself in a position that you regret it for life because you messed up the time and you no longer have time to change and fix it. That often happens with parents who alienate their children and parents who do things wrong. And in the world that we're in today, there's a lot of discussion. Because a lot of times the child is assumed with the mom. And the dad is always in an uphill battle to change that, even if he changed, which isn't a high percentage. But your children can't never get the time back. Your children can't never get the trainings and the teachings that they would have got had you not alleviated their time. It's a dangerous thing for somebody you're supposed to love and protect and look out for. We talked about it earlier. That's a little weird. Sometimes people do things when they're supposed to love you. That is not a loving thing to do. And that can be as bad as time. And a parent who does that doesn't care about you, which may be obvious, but the saddest thing is they're doing it out of selfish reasons. They're killing their children and their future generations to come. And that is a bad thing. Same thing can happen if you have a situation with a spouse, relationship with a boss, or anything else. See, that's the wrong part of it. You can be the one who turns the time into evil, into a bad thing that no one could come back. Work hard, guys. Don't be that person. And if somebody really loves you, somebody really cares, somebody really wants to do business with you, if they really do, they're going to work harder to make sure that you get through whatever you get through, even if it's not the ultimate outcome you planned. But their character's at stake, their personality, if they don't. And sometimes, as we talked about earlier, there can be many other elements that cause it to be that way. And some they may not be able to control. So is it a mess? Yes, it is. I hate to leave you on that note, but I'm real. God bless, and you guys have a good one. Thanks, TikTok, for hanging out. Thanks, IG. Thanks, Facebook. Thanks, Threads. Thanks to YouTube. Thanks to, what else? WhatsApp. Thanks to, did I get everybody? IG, I think so. Anyway, God bless. It's Dr. Malcolm D. Alexander, the Treadmill Wealth Coach, with another episode of the Dads Deserve Justice show with a different type of spin. For that show, we'll see you again next Friday. And Dads Deserve Justice, you can go to dadsdeservejustice.org to get more information. And for the Treadmill Wealth Coach, God willing, he gives me the time. I have the time. I don't mess up. I made a commitment to get better. I'll see you again. Ooh, it's hard for you to even say it. Tomorrow. See you later. Bye-bye.